Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you a routine that I feel like is perfect for summer, especially in this heat. I don't know about you guys, but this is the hottest summer I've experienced in a long time. And so, my makeup routine has kind of shifted a little bit. It's made me think about some of the tips and tricks that I have, from experience when working with a hotter summer weather, because I am someone who still enjoys to wear makeup all year round. So I wanted to show you guys a few tips. And if you guys saw my recent video, you would have seen me talk about a new concealer I've been loving from Lancome, which I will also be using again today. And I'm so happy because I am partnering with Lancome on this video as well. They are such an iconic brand, so I'm truly so grateful to even be working with them and that they even know who I am, honestly. But I'm going to be showing you guys this Lancome Teint Idole Ultra Wear Foundation, which I have been trying hand in hand with the concealer. And this is not a new product. This has been around for a long time. And I'm so excited to show you guys how it wears, why I like it, and why I've been reaching for it, especially for hotter days. The longevity is amazing. Not to like spoil it already, but we're gonna go ahead and start. So ironically, when it comes to a makeup look that I want to last throughout the day, especially when it's hot, I try not to do too much to prep the skin. I always believe in doing a skincare routine in the morning, so that's what I've done. And I've actually let the products kind of sink into the skin for over an hour now, so that way there's not any extra layer of anything, but my skin feels prepped. The reason why I don't always love to go in with something directly onto the skin is because for me personally, if a primer is too mattifying, sometimes I find that my skin overcompensates and actually produces more oil. And then if I put something too hydrating on, if I'm wanting it to last through heat, it can sometimes slip. So this is how I like to prep my skin, which means that we're just gonna go straight into this Lancome Teint Idole Ultra Wear foundation. I have heard about this and heard such good things about this for years. Well, actually, one of my favorite makeup artists on Instagram, her name is Marissa Rose. I will actually have her Instagram linked down below because she does the most beautiful bridal looks and she swears by this foundation for all of her brides. So it's just something that has been tried and true for her. And so I had heard good things about it. I have actually tried this a few years ago, but that was when my skin was really acting up. So there were only a couple of foundations that worked over top of all the acne flare-ups that I was having. Now that my skin has calmed down a little bit, retrying this, bringing it back into my routine for the past couple of weeks, I have fallen in love. I love falling in love with older products, if that makes sense, because there's so many things that are already existing out there that are so great. So I'm gonna go ahead and just, apply this all over. I find that the best shade that matches me is 100 Ivory N. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this on the back of my hand. First of all, I love the glass bottle with a pump. This says that it's gonna have up to a 24-hour wear and it's very transfer resistant. I would have to agree with that. So I'm just gonna take that on a brush. We'll do one half of the face first. I like to do this just so you can really see the difference in finish. So you can see how there's immediate coverage, but similar to the concealer that I showed you guys the other day, it's so lightweight, which is something that I have realized is super necessary for a long wearing makeup look, to not pile up too many layers of things. And if something gives coverage but is lightweight, and if you don't need to use too much of it in order to get the coverage that you want, that's ideal for summertime for me. So that's how I feel with this. You'll see it blends out really beautifully just with a brush, but I always love to use a sponge. So I'm gonna go ahead and press this down just so you guys can see. This gives just the perfect amount of coverage. So if you are familiar with what I look for in foundations, I love when my skin is just evened out. And even if there's still some blemishes showing through, I haven't minded it anymore. I will just go spot conceal those later, because I would rather have a lighter weight feeling and looking complexion than layering up too much on the skin. The nice thing about that foundation though is I have layered it up to cover up blemishes and it layers up beautifully. So if you are concerned about that, know that it does layer up. Just use, thin layers, and luckily the coverage is buildable, so that is very nice. But you can see the before and then the after. It's just like my skin, but better. I know so many of you guys actually love this foundation as well. I've heard several people talk about it for years. And again, I just, am a little late to the game maybe, but I'm really excited that I brought this back into my routine because it fits the foundations that I look for now. As far as texture goes and formula, longevity, it really is super foolproof. And again, I've been wearing this for the past few weeks off camera to really put it to the test. I've worn it for entire days over and over and over again, and I really do feel like the longevity is so impressive with this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and press that into the skin. A little bit goes a long way, so this will last you a very long time. Also, this comes in 50 shades, which is incredible. So yeah, I will have this link down below if you're looking for a good new summer foundation. You can find this at Ulta, and I will have that link down below for you. We're gonna move on to concealer. I'm gonna use this one again. I know I just recently talked about it, but I love it so much. This is the Lancome Teint Idole Ultra Wear All Over Concealer. It works perfectly with that foundation. Again, very similar concept as far as something that is super lightweight but gives great coverage, and that's what I look for when it comes to a summer routine. And I mentioned this in my last video, but I want to mention it again. I feel like when something has a little bit more of a matte finish in the summertime, I prefer that because it will dry down and not budge. But you can also manipulate the formula a little bit easier by adding more hydration underneath if you need that in the summertime, or in the drier months, you can still use the same more matte formula, just kind of switch the primer that you have underneath, and it will work well as a more hydrating formula that still has longevity for colder months. I'm just gonna take what's left and kind of cancel out any discoloration on the eyelids. So for me, this is perfect. This is like the perfect amount of coverage. I could build it up if I really wanted to, but for like a more natural kind of a look, I don't mind if my skin is showing through in some areas. I find that it looks more natural, especially in the summer. If for some reason you wear it for hours and hours or it's extremely hot and things start to fade a little bit, it's not gonna look as drastic. So this is the perfect amount of coverage for me personally, but if it was like a super special occasion, I would probably build it up a little more, but I'm gonna leave it as is for today. I'm gonna hop into my Thrive Cosmetics Filtered Effects Soft Focus HD Setting Powder for setting the face today. This is one of my most foolproof powders when it comes to just something that's gonna last all day long. I love how this sets the face, but it's also not too drying, so it's a nice combination over top of a matte foundation or a more matte concealer because it's gonna lock things in, but it leaves more of a buttery finish, so my skin doesn't feel too tight, if that makes sense. But for me, in order to have longevity in the summertime with any makeup look, I have to powder my whole face. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of press this into the skin over top of the foundation and concealer. I love this too because I feel like it's something that looks better and better as you wear it. It has a really gorgeous buttery finish. It's just amazing. If you haven't tried this yet, it's one of my all-time favorite powders. I can just trust it, So I'm just gonna brush that down the neck a little bit as well. I'm sticking with Thrive Cosmetics for bronzer too. This Thrive Cosmetics Sun Chaser Blur and Sculpt Bronzing Powder is one of the most long-lasting bronzers that I've ever tried. And when it comes to, again, a long wear summer makeup look, I personally really enjoy powders. I do think you can layer creams and powders, but in order to like guarantee that it's gonna last, I stick with a mostly powder routine after setting the face. So again, this is one of my favorites. I'm gonna go ahead and take this on my bronzer brush and just start blending this out on the face. I love the tone and undertone of this product and also just how it blends itself out so beautifully. I feel like my skin already looks so nice and airbrushed. I'm gonna go ahead and take my powder brush and kind of just blend around the edges of the bronzer. I always like to do this just to make sure everything blends in and out of each other seamlessly. For blush, I kind of have a similar idea as far as longevity goes. I want to stick with the powder formula. So this has been one of the best for longevity. The pigment stays on your skin all day long. And in order for it to last even longer, I love reaching for slightly brighter colors on the cheeks. I find that, the more soft, everyday, neutral blushes tend to just kind of fade into the background by the end of the day and even within a few hours. So if you want something that's gonna last through heat, choose a little bit of a brighter color. So this is the Jaclyn Cosmetics Rouge Affair Matte Blush Palette. So it's the more cool toned one. I am going to mix, well, first let's start with this shade right here, French Kiss. I like to mix a couple of shades. So I'm just gonna kind of smile and apply this to the high parts of the apples of the cheeks. And this will kind of be like my base color, just pressing that into the skin. And honestly, this color is so pretty. This works for every day. So if you're not too much of a blush person, you could stop at just this, but I am such a blush person. So I'm going to dip into Fantasy, which is a really beautiful kind of fuchsia color almost. And I'm gonna take that and just hit it right here, a little bit higher on the cheeks, a little closer to the eye. I feel like that gives a super fresh effect. This is something that I learned from Makeup by Ariel. He always does that, like puts the blush a little bit higher on the face just for a more lifted effect. I'm gonna take what's left and go across the nose just so it looks a little more summery. And then I'm gonna take my powder brush one more time just to make sure, again, that those products are blended into the bronzer and the setting powder underneath. When it comes to a long-lasting summery eye look, honestly, I can't be bothered with like a full-blown eyeshadow look, especially if I know I'm going to be outside. I like to keep the eyes a little bit more simple. I just find that for some reason it's just maybe comforting for me to know or not have to worry about eyeshadow creasing or, you know, smudging or anything like that. So I personally just use my bronzer. So I'm going to dip back into the Thrive Cosmetics bronzer with a fluffy brush, and I'm going to run that. I'm going to tap away the concealer first. Let me kind of powder the eyelids. I forgot to do that on this eye. Okay, so I'm just going to take that and kind of fluff that right through the crease. If you've followed me for a long time, you already know this trick. I do this all the time. This is like my favorite way to do an everyday look, but yeah, especially in the summertime, I don't want to worry about eyeshadow as much, so this is foolproof. I'm going to kind of bring that down onto the eyelid just for a little bit of color there. And take that same brush, I'm going to tap off the excess, pinch it, and then run that underneath the lower lash line. Okay, next, I'm gonna go back into that Jaclyn Cosmetics blush palette, and I'm gonna dip the same brush into both the blush colors that we used, tap off the excess, and I'm gonna focus this just on the outer portion of that crease, just to tie in the colors a little bit. But again, nothing major, just enough to kind of tie in those tones. For mascara, my top two mascaras right now, and they have been for a while, and I've talked about these several times. The first one being the Thrive Cosmetics Liquid Lash Extension Mascara, and then the other one is the Maybelline Lash Sensational. Both of these wear so incredibly well, no matter what situation I'm in. They are not waterproof. They both remove very easily, but I find that they don't smudge or flake. You know, if I'm just sweating, I find that these stay all day long. So I'm gonna use the Maybelline one today. I'm gonna pop this on the top and bottom lashes. I love how this mascara builds up. So when I do a more simple eye look, I do like to layer up the mascara because especially when I am wanting something on the face, I feel like when I layer up the mascara a little bit more, for some reason it just balances things out a little bit. It's like a little more intentional than like a light layer of mascara with a more full coverage foundation on, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm gonna really layer this up to make sure my lashes are a bit more of a statement. Okay, so mascara's on. I'm just wiping away any foundation that got on the lips. And for lips in the summer, if I want things to last for a while, I typically just go with a tinted lip balm of some sort. I really like any sort of glossy balm product. I love a lip stain here and there, but I really wanted to show you guys this product specifically because this lives in my purse and is such a great product for every day in the summertime. This is from Dior, and it is their Lip Glow Color Reviver Balm. I love the shade 001 Pink. I actually don't own any other shade, but this is gonna kind of tint the lips and hydrate them like a balm. I should probably look into more colors of this since I love it so much. Well, okay, so first, this is optional too. I find that if I am doing a look that's somewhat structured like this, like I still have foundation and I have bronzer on, I do like to pair it with a lip liner. So you can use any kind of lip liner. This one is the Makeup Forever Wherever Walnut. I'm just gonna use this to outline the edge of the lips. I find that when I'm wearing even just a lip balm, it is nice to line the lips and kind of give it that shape back, because this is kind of a look that's a step up from like a no makeup look. It's obviously more natural, but it's obvious that I'm wearing makeup. So I just like to make sure that things look polished, and a lip liner always helps. So I'm just kind of coloring in the lips a little bit, but I'm focusing this definition on the outside of the lips for sure. So now that that's on, I'm gonna now go in with the Dior lip balm. And again, this is gonna just combine with the pH of my lips, and it's gonna turn a really pretty bright pink, which I think is gonna look so pretty with that blush. Yeah, I love this. And it's like a thicker balm, so you're really gonna get hydration because, I don't know about you guys, but my lips are always dry, like all year round, but especially in the summertime, I feel like my lips can get a little bit extra dry if I'm dehydrated or something like that. So this is really nice. It's very hydrating, but also kind of stains the lips. So if it fades throughout the day, you know, as you're going out and about, it's still gonna leave a beautiful color, and you can basically apply it with your eyes closed. I love just like foolproof, fuss-free products when it comes to a long wear look in the summertime, and I feel like all these products are that for me. So now I'm just gonna touch up the brows, and then we will assess the situation and see if we need to add anything else. So I am gonna add a tiny bit more bronzer, not too much. And then highlighter is optional. I was gonna show you guys my personal favorite pick, but if I personally know that I'm gonna be out for a long time, sometimes I will skip highlighter altogether because I will just trust that my natural oils will come through by the end of the day, and I'll have a little bit more of a soft matte glow versus like being too glowy off the bat. But I also do really love this ColourPop highlighter. This is the Super Shock Cheek in Lunch Money. I've talked about this so many times. I really love this because it's like not a cream, but it's not a powder. It will just kind of give you that super glistening, summery skin. So if you're into that and you want to have a little bit of a fresh looking glow immediately, you can take some of this. I just like to dip my sponge into it, and I will kind of press that onto the high points of the face, and you'll see it immediately adds a little bit of a glow. It's not too over the top, it's not too glittery, so I really enjoy a product like this, or this one specifically, to achieve that kind of a look. I'm just gonna keep it focused on the outsides of the face. You guys know sometimes I will put it, above the brow, I'll go down the nose. For a long wear summer look, the T-zone for me is oily, so I think it's important to recognize what areas of your own face get oily or stay a little bit more dry and balanced, and that's where you can decide, okay, I know the sides of my face can handle a little bit of like a more creamy highlighter, where the center of my face, things break apart really easily. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about as I'm applying all these products and choosing these products to make sure they last all day. I'm just gonna take what's left on the blush brush and add a little bit more, just because blush is the first thing to fade, and I really want that to be kind of the focal point in this summery look. Then I'm gonna go ahead and spray the face with the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. This is the best as far as longevity goes. It has never let me down, so I'm gonna go ahead and spray the entire face with this. Let that dry a little bit. Once it's mostly dry, I like to go back in with my sponge and just press that down. That's gonna give the skin more of a natural finish, because even though I used a lot of powders, and even though I need this to last for hours and hours, I don't want it to look or feel like it's sitting on top of my skin. So I like to do this just to make sure. And then last but not least, I could never do a summer makeup look without taking some of my Rimmel Stay Matte pressed powder and just tapping that into the T-zone just to really lock that makeup in. So anywhere that you get oils, sometimes the tip of my nose gets oily, I just press this powder after setting spray, and I'm telling you, the longevity that is added to the T-zone or wherever you get oily, if you set the face with this at the very end, it's insane. So now I'm just gonna set my brows with some clear brow gel, and my summer look is all done. Okay, so that completes my long wearing makeup look, which is perfect for hot summer days. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this routine. I love how it turned out. I actually am gonna wear this for the rest of the day, so I'm really confident in all these products that they're gonna stick with me for the rest of the day, because I've tried them all for hours on end and they all work so well for me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Huge thanks again to Lancome for sponsoring today's video. I thoroughly enjoy both of these products. So again, I will have them linked down below if you guys want to check them out. I would love to hear from you guys if you've tried either of these products, how they've worked for you, what tips and tricks you have to get the most out of these products. I would love to know in the comments, because I know this one has been loved by so many people for years now, and there's a reason why it is so famous. It truly is so reliable. So I've really enjoyed that. And I have a feeling that I will be using that for the rest of the summer and also throughout the end of the year as well, just because it is such a foolproof formula. It really does work and it really does wear well on me. So huge thanks to Lancome again. Be sure to check out the foundation in the description box down below. If you're new here, hi, my name is Allie, and I would love for you to join the family. You can do so by hitting the subscribe button. And if you're already a subscriber, but you want to be notified on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, click on the bell after you subscribe and you'll get a notification every single time I post. That's it for me today. I hope you guys have an amazing day wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Love you. Bye.